So you've slacked off in your classes and you're feeling all type of ways right now. Well, in this video, I share with you how you can bounce back. I'll share 4 simple things that if you apply them, you bounce back with great ease. But before we begin, I want you to just take a deep breath. I want you to look outside and see if the sky is still up there. If the answer is yes, that means the world hasn't ended yet. If no, well, the reason I actually made that statement is I wanted you to get out of your head and know that it's all right. Now, the first thing is I want you to know exactly what you need to catch up on. So, on a piece of paper or whatever you're taking notes, I want you to write down exactly what you need to catch up on. It can be, if you have multiple classes, do the same thing, but right now we'll just do one class at a time, and I'll walk you through an example that we'll use throughout the whole video. So write down the name of the class that you need to catch up on, how many lectures you're behind, or chapters or pages, whatever you need to catch up on. I want you to be very specific here. The reason we're writing it down from your head to a paper is because we're going to formulate a game plan based off what's on the piece of paper. And I want you to get it out of your head, because sometimes we make a molehill into a mountain by just overthinking. An example that we use recurringly throughout this video is a few weeks I was behind on 3 weeks worth of lectures. And 3 weeks, it was a Monday, Wednesday, Friday lecture. That meant I was behind on 9 lectures. And each lecture was around 10 to 15 pages of lecture notes. So that meant around 90 to 135 pages. So in my head, I thought I was really behind, but when I took it out of my head and wrote it down on a piece of paper, it was only 9 lectures, and it was only 90 to 135 pages that I needed to catch up on. So you see, that's why we're writing it down on a piece of paper and we're taking it out of our own head. And the next thing now is that you know how many things that you need to catch up on. I want you to assign time frames. From the previous example is, I told you I was behind on 9 lectures and it's 3 credit hours. The standard says that for every hour in lecture, you spend 3 hours studying. So I was like, okay, I'll give myself 3 hours for each lecture. So that means 9 lectures, 3 hours each. It sounds like a lot of time, but I want you to give yourself more time than you need, because sometimes we end up underestimating how long a task will take. And when we give ourselves short time, we don't complete it in that time, we end up feeling a little bit stressed. So you giving yourself more time to complete it will allow you to be more calm and will make the task feel manageable. That's why I'm saying assign time frames. So we know exactly what we're behind on. We know how long we're going to take to catch up on each lecture. So just to carry on with that example is, I gave myself 4.5 days because I was working 2 lectures a day. So I was like, okay, I'll give myself 2 lectures a day, 3 hours each, that's 6 hours. I'm just still on the planning phase. I haven't even started acting on it yet. So this is how you're going about it. You write a plan first. You give yourself more time than you need. So that was 2 lectures a day, around 4 days to complete everything. You see, I gave myself more time than I actually needed. Now do a similar thing for your task that you need to catch up on. So the next thing is, we know exactly what we need. We know how long we're going to take. Now I want you to start acting on it. Here's the game plan. This will sound counterintuitive, but I want you to take a day off. So you've planned everything. You know how long you're going to take, and you know what you need to catch up on. You have all the lectures ready and everything printed out, or if you're using PDF, you have everything saved up. I want you to take a day of play. You might be like, I'm already behind on lectures. Why would I take a day off? Well, the reason we're doing this is I want you to just have a day of play, because I want your brain to be calm when you get started working on this. What's the point of stressing, just rushing to get things done, to only feel overwhelmed? I don't want you to feel burnt out. That's why I'm saying take a day to play. Take a day, just do whatever you want, as long as it's not schoolwork. You can start doing schoolwork if you want, but I highly recommend you take that day off and then you go to bed early and then you get started. So here's how we go about it when we get started. If it's possible, I want you to not attend your lectures unless attendance is mandatory. Because what's the point of going to a lecture that you're already behind on and you just sit there all confused? It's better to take that little time off to catch up and then go to the lecture when you're fresh and you know what's going on. So if attendance is not mandatory, highly consider you don't go to that lecture, because going to a lecture takes up a lot of time. It requires you getting up, getting ready, commuting. So if you can use that time to catch up, that will be way more efficient use of your time. So we know exactly how long we know exactly what we want. We know the time frame. Now we're working on it, right? So we've taken a day off. Now I want you to start working on it one task at a time. And I will implement the fourth thing here is rewards. So as you work on it, each task thing that you're behind that you work on and you complete it, I want you to check it off on that piece of paper that you wrote down, like what you need to catch up on. Check it off, go reward yourself. Mine personally is like usually take a nap or just have some sweets. I love sweets. Okay, yeah, just rewards has to be something that you like. So you finish the first thing, reward yourself. This will motivate you to keep going. And then you do the second thing, reward yourself. And then if you complete that task for the day and you complete them and you're like, oh, I can do more. And then you end up completing it. An example is, I told you mine, I gave myself 4.5 days and it was 6 hours each day. I ended up doing it. It's like, it was way less time than I needed. Only 10 to 15 pages a day. I ended up completing all the lectures in 1 hour. So like for one lecture, instead of 3 hours, I was doing it in an hour or so. So I would read the lecture, summarize it, and then how I study is different. I can make a video on that, but that's not the point in this video. In this video, I just want you to know that as you work on it, when you give yourself more time, you end up actually completing more. And then if you complete it early, do more. And you reward yourself. So I ended up completing it, I think it was like in 2 days. And then I go back to lectures, I'm already caught up. So that's how you bounce back. It's not as complicated as it looks. Once you just take it out of your head and you write it down, and then you write down how long you need, and you start working on it, you just see like everything is just flowing, and you get caught up in great ease. That's about it. That's all like I have to share in how to bounce back in a class that you've slacked off in. So here's a summary of the video. The first thing is write down exactly what you need to catch up on, because we'll formulate our game plan based off that. Second thing is you've written down exactly what you need to catch up on. I want you to assign time frames, how long you're going to work on each little piece that you need. The third thing is disappear and start working on it. So yeah, the first thing I recommended was taking a day of play so your brain can calm down and just truly connect to yourself. Then the second day, and start implementing on it right away. And as you're working on it, the fourth thing was doing rewards. So you work on each task, you reward yourself, and then you continuously do it. And that's all there is to it. The next steps for you are apply this. Take what works, examine what I shared, take what works, and just start catching up on those things that you slacked off on. It's that simple. And to always stay ahead in your lectures, there is a video I have on how to get things done somewhere here. How to get things done. You can watch that. It will complement this video greatly, so you can apply those things. And the second thing is share this with a friend. Thank you for your time. Peace.